야! 아니 이런 약을 두고 가다니. 아픈 사람이 약을 두고 가면 어쩌나? 이거 상당히 큰일인데.
상당히 어색한데? 그리고 그렇게 큰일까지는 아닌 것 같은데요?
뭐? 이게 큰일이 아니야? 너 항생제 복용법 몰라? 처방받은 항생제는 중단하지 말고 끝까지 다 이거 나았다 하더라도 빼먹지 말고 꼬박꼬박 먹어야 된다고.
그래요? 대박.
야, 맘대로 중단하면 내성 생겨. 그래서 다음에 아플 때 먹으면 약도 안 들어서. 임수 씨한텐 이 위독한 상황이라도 생기면 내가 영찜찜하지 않을까?
아이 무슨 약 몇 개 빼먹었다고 위급한 상황이 생겨요. 설마.
설마가 사람 잡는다.
Now, in this scene, Sanjay describes a very, very common misconception about antibiotic resistance. People often think that if antibiotics aren't prescribed correctly or taken correctly, that the patient develops a resistance to the antibiotics. And that is not true. It is actually the bacteria that develop the resistance. Now, for those of you who can understand the Korean here, Sanjay's actual description is a little bit more vague and suggests a general tolerance or resistance to the antibiotics. However, in the English subtitles, it explicitly says that you will develop the resistance to the antibiotics, and that is not true. It is the bacteria that develop the resistance. It may seem like a nuanced difference, but it's an important one. So let's take a look at how antibiotic resistance happens. As bacteria grow in our body, they can also mutate. So sometimes a mutation makes the bacteria more resistant to antibiotics. So if you're treated with an antibiotic, it takes longer to kill the bacteria that have mutated. In this case, if you take a full course of the antibiotic, all the bacteria die. However, if you only take the antibiotics for a few days, most of the bacteria die, but those that are mutated to be a little bit more resistant to the antibiotic live long enough to survive. Then, after you stop taking the antibiotic, those resistant bacteria multiply and then can also mutate. They can mutate into bacteria that are even more resistant to the antibiotic. So in this case, even if you take the full course of antibiotic, you can't kill all the bacteria. You are now infected with a bacteria that is resistant to the antibiotic you are taking. And this resistant bacteria can be spread to others who then would not be able to kill off all the bacteria, even if they start out by taking the full course of the antibiotics, because that strain now is already resistant to that antibiotic. In many cases, people can try different types of antibiotics that will kill off the bacteria, but as more and more strains mutate to develop resistance to more and more antibiotics, the danger is that the number of strains that are resistant to many kinds of antibiotics will also increase and cause infections that are difficult to treat. So how can we fix the science here? Well, I think the science can be fixed pretty easily. Sanjay would just have to say, well, if you just stop taking them whenever you want, then the bacteria can become resistant to the antibiotics, and then you can get sicker because the antibiotics won't be able to work. And that's pretty much it. Also, though, keep in mind that if you are ever fighting an infection that isn't getting better because of a type of antibiotics that you're taking, just remember it's not you that's resistant to the antibiotics, it's the bacteria.